Why does your mind refuse to rest even when your body is tired? Why do simple thoughts quietly turn into endless loops inside your head? Welcome to the Silent Mind. Today we explore a question that millions of people live with every single day, often without fully understanding it. The question is simple on the surface, yet deeply complex beneath it. Why do you overthink everything? Why does your mind keep analyzing conversations, decisions, memories, and possibilities long after the moment has passed? Overthinking does not begin loudly. It begins quietly. It begins with a thought that feels reasonable, a reflection that feels responsible, a moment of awareness that seems intelligent. But slowly, without warning, that single thought multiplies. It divides into scenarios. It creates alternative realities. It opens doors to what if and maybe and what could go wrong. And before you realize it, you are no longer thinking. You are trapped inside thinking. Overthinking is often misunderstood as weakness. Many people believe that those who overthink are indecisive, anxious, or overly emotional. Yet psychology reveals something very different. Overthinking is rarely about weakness. It is usually about awareness. It is often the mind attempting to protect itself in a world filled with uncertainty. Your brain was not designed for constant clarity. It was designed for survival. And survival depends on prediction. Your mind continuously scans for patterns, threats, opportunities, and meaning. It does not simply observe reality. It tries to anticipate reality. This is where overthinking begins. When the mind encounters uncertainty, it searches for answers. When answers are not immediately available, it creates possibilities. When possibilities multiply, mental noise increases. And when mental noise becomes overwhelming, the experience is labeled as overthinking. But consider this perspective. Overthinking is not always about thinking too much. Sometimes it is about feeling too deeply. People who overthink often possess heightened emotional awareness. They notice tone changes in voices. They detect subtle shifts in body language. They remember small details that others forget. They replay moments not because they want to suffer, but because those moments carry emotional weight. Imagine a conversation that seemed ordinary to everyone else. Yet hours later, your mind revisits a sentence you spoke. Was it misinterpreted? Did it sound awkward? Did it hurt someone unintentionally? This internal replay is not random. It reflects a desire for social harmony and emotional safety. The overthinking mind is often a conscientious mind. Another reason overthinking occurs is the illusion of control. Humans crave control over outcomes, relationships, and identity. When life presents ambiguity, the mind compensates by analyzing. Analysis feels productive. It creates a sense of involvement. It provides temporary comfort. Yet analysis cannot control uncertainty. This creates a paradox. The more uncertain a situation feels, the more the mind analyses. The more the mind analyses, the more possibilities appear. The more possibilities appear, the greater the uncertainty feels. And so, the cycle continues. Overthinking is a loop driven by the search for certainty in an uncertain world. Modern environments amplify this tendency. In previous generations, many decisions were simpler. Social circles were smaller. Comparisons were limited. Information moved slowly. Today, individuals navigate endless choices, constant connectivity, and continuous evaluation. Every decision carries perceived consequences. Every message can be interpreted in multiple ways. Every social interaction can be replayed mentally with alternative responses. Technology has expanded opportunity, but it has also expanded cognitive load. Social media introduces another layer to overthinking. When people observe curated versions of others' lives, they unconsciously evaluate themselves. Did I say the right thing? Am I progressing fast enough? What do others think of me? Why did they respond differently today? These questions rarely arrive consciously. They appear as background thoughts that gradually accumulate. Overthinking thrives in environments where comparison is constant and feedback is ambiguous. Personality also plays a role. Individuals high in introspection naturally turn inward for understanding. Reflection becomes a familiar mental space. Over time, reflection can shift into rumination, where thoughts no longer serve insight but instead reinforce doubt. Rumination differs from reflection in one crucial way. Reflection seeks understanding. Rumination seeks resolution that does not exist. This distinction explains why overthinking feels exhausting. The mind searches for definitive answers to inherently uncertain experiences. Why did they act that way? What does this mean for the future? Did I make the right choice? Some questions have no fixed answers, yet the mind continues searching. Another hidden driver of overthinking is memory. Humans possess the remarkable ability to mentally travel through time. We revisit past events and simulate future scenarios. This cognitive capacity supports learning and planning, but it also creates space for regret and anxiety. A memory resurfaces. A decision is revisited. A possibility is imagined. The mind begins connecting these elements into narratives. Narratives create emotional experiences even when the events are not occurring in the present moment. Overthinking is often storytelling without conclusion. Fear plays a subtle yet powerful role as well. Fear of embarrassment, fear of rejection, fear of making irreversible mistakes. When fear is present, the mind attempts to minimize risk through anticipation. It rehearses conversations before they occur. It evaluates outcomes before decisions are made. It searches for signals that confirm safety. From a psychological perspective, overthinking is a protective mechanism. It attempts to prevent emotional pain. Yet protection can become restriction. When the mind continuously prepares for possible discomfort, it reduces spontaneity. Decisions become delayed. Opportunities feel intimidating. Silence replaces expression. Not because ability is lacking, but because certainty feels required before action. But certainty is rarely available. There is another dimension that is rarely discussed. Overthinking is linked to identity formation. Many individuals use thought as a way to understand themselves. Who am I? What do I value? How do others perceive me? What direction should my life take? These questions are profound. They deserve contemplation. However, when identity questions lack experiential grounding, they remain unresolved. The mind continues searching for definitions that can only emerge through lived experience. Overthinking identity can delay living identity. Interestingly, creative individuals often experience intense overthinking. Creativity involves exploring alternatives, imagining possibilities, and connecting distant concepts. The same cognitive flexibility that fuels creativity can also fuel rumination. A mind capable of imagining multiple outcomes can also imagine multiple problems. This duality explains why some of the most thoughtful people struggle internally while appearing composed externally. The richness of their internal world provides insight, empathy, and innovation. Yet it can also create cognitive overwhelm. Overthinking is often the shadow side of awareness. Let us consider relationships. Overthinking frequently manifests within social contexts because relationships involve unpredictability. Another person's thoughts, feelings, and intentions are never fully visible. This ambiguity invites interpretation. A delayed response becomes meaningful. A short reply becomes symbolic. A subtle change in behavior becomes analyzed. The mind constructs explanations to fill informational gaps. Sometimes these explanations are accurate, often they are not. The mind prefers interpretation over uncertainty. Attachment patterns further shape overthinking. Individuals with heightened sensitivity to relational security may monitor interactions closely. They look for reassurance signals. They evaluate consistency. They replay conversations to detect hidden meanings. This behavior is rarely intentional. It reflects an underlying desire for emotional safety. Perfectionism represents another pathway into overthinking. When individuals hold high standards for themselves, mistakes feel threatening. Decisions feel weighty. Expression feels risky. The mind evaluates possibilities extensively to avoid imperfection. Yet perfection is not a destination. It is a moving target. The pursuit of flawless outcomes generates endless evaluation, and endless evaluation generates mental fatigue. One of the most profound insights about overthinking is that thoughts themselves are not the problem. The relationship with thoughts determines their impact. A thought can be observed or inhabited. It can pass or persist. It can inform or dominate. When individuals believe every thought requires resolution, overthinking intensifies. When thoughts are recognized as mental events rather than commands, cognitive space emerges. Awareness does not eliminate thoughts. It changes their authority. Consider how clouds move across the sky. Some are light and temporary. Others are dense and lingering. Yet the sky itself remains unchanged. Thoughts function similarly. They appear, evolve, and dissolve. The observing awareness remains constant. Overthinking occurs when awareness merges with thought content rather than observing it. Silence plays a crucial role in this process. Many people fear mental silence because silence exposes unresolved feelings. Noise, distraction, and activity provide escape from internal dialogue. However, silence also offers clarity. It allows thoughts to be seen rather than chased. The silent mind is not a mind without thoughts. It is a mind not controlled by thoughts. Another misconception is that overthinking can be solved through force. People attempt to stop thinking. They criticize themselves for rumination. They demand mental quietness. Paradoxically, resistance increases persistence. The mind does not respond well to suppression. It responds to understanding. Understanding overthinking involves recognizing its intention. The mind is attempting to help. It is seeking safety, meaning, coherence, and identity. Appreciating this intention reduces internal conflict. Compassion towards one's own thinking patterns creates space for transformation. Cultural narratives also influence overthinking. Societies that emphasize achievement, productivity, and comparison indirectly reinforce cognitive pressure. Individuals feel compelled to evaluate progress continuously. They assess whether they are ahead, behind, successful, or lacking. Such evaluation invites constant mental commentary, yet life unfolds beyond metrics. Some experiences cannot be optimized. They can only be lived. It is also important to recognize that overthinking often coexists with strengths. Empathy, foresight, creativity, conscientiousness, and sensitivity frequently accompany reflective minds. The goal is not to eliminate reflection, but to balance it with presence. Presence anchors reflection within reality. When individuals engage fully with immediate experiences, cognitive loops weaken. Attention shifts from hypothetical narratives to tangible sensations. The warmth of sunlight, the rhythm of breathing, the texture of sound. These sensory anchors reconnect awareness with the present moment. Overthinking lives in imagined time. Presence lives in real time. There is a quiet liberation in accepting that not every thought requires action. Some thoughts are echoes of past experiences. Others are rehearsals of future fears. Observing them without engagement reduces their momentum. This does not mean ignoring meaningful concerns. It means differentiating between useful reflection and repetitive rumination. Useful reflection generates insight. Rumination generates exhaustion. Language itself can shape thinking patterns. When individuals describe themselves as overthinkers, they may reinforce identity narratives. Identity influences behavior. Behavior reinforces identity. Recognizing overthinking as a pattern rather than a permanent trait introduces flexibility. Patterns can change. Another dimension involves bodily awareness. Overthinking is not purely cognitive. It often manifests physically as tension, restlessness, fatigue, or sleep disturbance. The body communicates cognitive overload through sensation. Listening to these signals provides valuable information. Sleep offers a revealing example. Many people experience intensified thinking at night. External distractions decrease. Internal dialogue becomes prominent. The mind attempts to process unresolved experiences from the day. Nighttime overthinking reflects unfinished cognitive business. Developing rituals that support closure can reduce nocturnal rumination. Reflective journaling, gentle review of the day, or intentional pauses allow thoughts to settle. Closure does not mean complete resolution. It means acknowledging completion for now. There is wisdom in temporary closure. Decision-making provides another context where overthinking thrives. Choices involving multiple variables invite extensive analysis. Individuals evaluate pros, cons, risks, benefits, and alternative scenarios. While thoughtful decision-making is valuable, excessive evaluation can delay action indefinitely. At some point, information gathering reaches diminishing returns. The courage to act despite incomplete certainty represents cognitive maturity. Regret often fuels overthinking about past decisions. Individuals replay moments, imagining alternative outcomes. This mental simulation creates the illusion that different thinking would have produced different realities. Yet decisions are made within the context of available knowledge at that time. Hindsight clarity can distort self-evaluation. Recognizing that past selves acted with present awareness fosters self-compassion. Curiously, overthinking can coexist with underthinking in other areas. A person may analyze social interactions deeply, yet make impulsive purchases. This variability reflects contextual relevance. The mind allocates cognitive resources based on perceived importance. Overthinking reveals what matters. If conversations replay repeatedly, connection matters. If decisions linger mentally, direction matters. Overthinking highlights areas of emotional investment. Interpreting it as information rather than dysfunction reframes the experience. It becomes data about priorities. Silence offers one final insight. Many individuals fear quiet moments because they anticipate mental noise. Yet silence can become a teacher. When external stimulation decreases, internal patterns become visible. Observing these patterns without judgment gradually reduces their intensity. Silence transforms awareness. Perhaps the most important understanding is this: overthinking is not a life sentence. It is a habit of attention. Habits can evolve through gentle redirection rather than forceful elimination. Attention can be trained to notice thoughts without following them endlessly. As this understanding deepens, something subtle occurs. Thoughts still arise. Reflection still happens. But the urgency decreases. The compulsion softens. The mind retains its depth while gaining spaciousness. This is the silent mind. A mind that can think without becoming lost in thinking. A mind that can reflect without becoming trapped in reflection. A mind that recognizes uncertainty not as danger, but as possibility. If you recognize yourself in these patterns, remember that overthinking often reflects a mind seeking meaning in a complex world. That search is not a flaw, it is part of being human. The invitation is not to stop thinking, but to relate differently to thought, to allow thinking to inform life rather than consume it, to honor awareness while embracing presence. And perhaps, the next time your mind begins constructing endless scenarios, you may pause and notice the moment itself. The breath, the space, the quiet awareness observing the thought. Within that pause lies freedom. This has been The Silent Mind, where thoughts speak without words.